Your taxes are high because of illegal immigrants. That's right, illegal immigrants. We need to get rid of them.
Boys, round them up. And throw them the swingin'est soiree they've ever seen.
Believe it.
No, in truth, an illegal immigrant, sir. If Proposition 24 passes, I shall be forced to leave this country.
The wildest thing about The Simpsons is how the show keeps exposing America's deepest fears long before they explode in real life. Every time this country hits a crisis, The Simpsons already drew the reaction, the panic, the blame, the walls, the identity wars. And when you start lining up the episodes with what's happening right now, it stops feeling like coincidence and starts feeling like the show has been warning us this whole time.
Passes, I shall be forced to leave this country. Oh, I wish I could have stayed just one more year or two. There was so much I wanted to see and to do and...
Imagine a town so desperate for answers that it decides the problem is not broken leadership. It's the people who look different. That is exactly what unfolds in Much Ado About Nothing.
People, your taxes are high because of illegal immigrants. That's right, illegal immigrants. We need to get rid of them.
Immigrants, I knew it was them. Even when it was the Bears, I knew it was them.
A small frustration over taxes turns into a wildfire of blame, and almost overnight the town convinces itself that immigrants are the reason life feels difficult. The moment Mayor Quimby points his finger, the crowd doesn't think, they react. Fear becomes anger, anger becomes a target, and what begins as confusion becomes a full-scale demand for deportations. It's dramatic, but it's not exaggerated, it's familiar.
In 1 week, the town will vote on a special referendum whether or not to deport all illegal immigrants from Springfield. It shall be known as Proposition 24.
Because we've seen the same pattern happen outside the show. Proposition 187 in the 1990s pushed the idea that immigrants were draining resources without evidence. It only needed a group to blame. That approach still appears today in border speeches and political messaging that treats outsiders as the cause of economic and social problems.
You know what, Apu? I am really gonna miss you.
And that's why Appa's story hits harder now. He reflects people who work, live, and contribute, yet still have to prove they belong.
I am an immigrant.
You? I don't believe it.
No, in truth, an illegal immigrant, sir. If Proposition 24 passes, I shall be forced to leave this country.
The citizenship test scene mirrors real cases of longtime residents being questioned, detained, or separated from their families. It doesn't feel like fiction. It feels like a mirror. When we move to Coming to Homerica, the tone shifts from blame to survival. Ogdenville collapses, jobs disappear, families are forced to leave everything behind, and Springfield suddenly becomes the lifeline. At first, the town embraces the newcomers, not out of kindness, but because their labor is efficient. The restaurants run smoother, the streets get cleaner, and the economy quietly benefits from the hands no one else notices. Yet, the moment Springfield feels crowded, the welcome evaporates. The same people who were praised for rebuilding the town are now framed as a threat.
Requires immigrant labor. Donald Trump says, get them out of here.
Yeah.
This is where the satire is painfully recognizable. In the real world, immigrant labor supports farms, construction, caregiving, and service work across America. The jobs that keep daily life functioning. But when the workforce grows visible or competition feels tight, the narrative flips. Instead of acknowledging dependence, the country talks about overflow, strain, and invasion. The conversation changes not because the work changed, but because proximity made people uncomfortable. That discomfort gets weaponized.
Okay, they can help us build a wall because they're good at it. But then those good-for-nothings have to go.
I had trouble finding a...
Springfield's solution is drastic and symbolic. Build a wall, not a plan, not a reform, a wall. A single visual gesture meant to signal control, and the irony is devastating. The same immigrants that Springfield wants to shut out are hired to construct that wall. They build the barrier designed to exclude them brick by brick, paycheck by paycheck. It is not a comedy, it is commentary on how nations demand labor but deny belonging.
To join you down at Dunkers.
All right, boys, round them up. And throw them the swingin'est soiree they've ever seen.
And when the wall finally stands, the town realizes something they never considered. Removing the workers removes the very hands that kept the city alive. The economy slows, daily life becomes harder, nothing feels fixed. Springfield created a barrier to protect itself from a problem that didn't exist and ended up isolating itself instead. A country can depend on immigrants every single day and still convince itself that it does not need them. Then the story takes a darker turn with MyPods and boomsticks. This time, the conflict isn't about jobs or borders. It's about fear living inside the neighborhood.
I'm Bashir. My family and I just moved here from Jordan.
Introduce.
A Muslim family moves into Springfield, and instead of curiosity or welcome, what spreads is suspicion. Homer convinces himself they're hiding something. Ordinary behavior suddenly looks dangerous. Innocent conversations feel coded. Every shadow becomes a threat. The town doesn't need evidence. It only needs imagination.
My religion says I can never eat pork.
A different religion? Do not tell anyone that.
Who's different? What's your name, sweat stain? Bashir.
And this is where the episode stops feeling like satire and starts feeling like surveillance footage of the last 2 decades. After 9/11, entire communities were monitored, airport lines split into categories of trust and suspicion, and ordinary families were treated like ticking bombs simply because of where they came from or what they believed. People weren't judged by who they were, but by what others feared they might be.
After 9/11, the Muslim community in our nation was greatly affected and experienced frequent Islamophobia.
This episode exposes a truth people rarely admit. Sometimes immigration panic isn't driven by numbers or borders. It's driven by the fear of the unknown. A neighbor becomes a suspect, a family becomes a narrative, a community becomes a target.
What religion are you anyway?
Muslim.
Oh boy.
You're the reason I can't carry toothpaste on an airplane.
And the twist in the episode makes the message unavoidable. The family Homer fears isn't dangerous at all. The threat was never them. It was the paranoia. Springfield didn't uncover a terrorist plot. It created one in its own mind. In The Crepes of Wrath, the show reveals that mistrust toward outsiders didn't suddenly appear in recent years. It has been quietly shaping attitudes for decades.
Only been in your country a few days, I have already found Americans to be most trusting. Although officially I am required to hate you, I want you to know I do not feel it.
Springfield welcomes an Albanian exchange student, yet almost instantly he is treated with quiet suspicion, as if simply being foreign makes him dangerous. At the same time, Bart is sent to France and is reduced to unpaid labor, valued only for what he can do, not who he is.
Oh, gee whiz, a deal would get a kick out of seeing this.
A deal? Sparrow.
A deal? Oh, there you are.
Get him!
The contrast makes the point unmistakable. New arrivals are often either judged as threats or used as workers, rarely seen as full people, and that mirrors reality now. Immigrants harvest food, clean buildings, raise children, repair homes, and keep entire industries functioning, yet their place in society is still debated like a privilege instead of a shared humanity.
Immigrants are stealing American jobs.
Yes.
This episode wasn't predicting a specific event. It was exposing the mindset that allows every immigration controversy to happen in the first place. Then comes the Cartridge family, where fear doesn't just influence opinions, it arms people. Springfield sees a news report warning that outsiders are coming, and the entire town rushes to buy guns before they've even seen a single newcomer.
I'd like to buy your deadliest gun, please.
Aisle 6, next to the sympathy cards. Whoa, careful there, Annie Oakley.
I don't have to be careful, I got a gun.
No threat, no evidence, just a headline, and panic spreads faster than truth ever could. This is where the show exposes something dangerous. Immigration anxiety doesn't begin with reality, it begins with broadcast narrative. When the TV says invasion, the public doesn't question it, they react, and that translates directly into reality. We've seen news networks, political ads, and viral social posts frame immigration as an oncoming disaster, and people respond not with questions, but with panic. The danger isn't who's arriving, It's how easily the public can be convinced that someone who isn't even in the room is already a threat. If this prediction just stunned you, hit like, smash subscribe, and stay right here.